Welcome to the weekend! Another episode of Wine Tasting with Kris. On this episode, we'll be doing a blind tasting between the Scott Family Estate 2016 Chardonnay from Carneros and the Scott Family Estate 2017 Chardonnay from Arroyo Seco. Things are about to get wild. Buckle up, it's going to be a fun ride. Hey everyone, like I said, we're going to be tasting two Chardonnays tonight, both from the same winery, but made from grapes from two completely different areas. And I just want to use this as an opportunity to show how much geography, and even though these are both from California, granted they are from two different years, two different vintages, how much geography and just these microclimates play a difference in the cultivation of the grapes that go into making the wine. So first off, we're going to look at this. This was the wine that I tasted a couple weeks ago, and this was the first episode. But this is a Chardonnay from Arroyo Seco down in the southern part of Monterey County. So if we look over here, you've got Los Padres National Forest, where just right in here is Big Sur. And then just east of that is kind of this Arroyo Seco area right here. This is kind of the valley down that falls along the 101. And that's where that general area is going to be where these grapes are going to come from. And as you can see, it's pretty far inland. Can't give you an exact number, but it's probably in the 50 to 75 mile range for how far inland it is. By contrast, the second wine we're drinking tonight when we go up here, so there's San Jose, San Francisco. Over here in Napa, in the southern part of Napa, you have this region called Los Carneros. And Los Carneros is an AVA of Napa. And so an AVA is an American viticultural area. And this specific AVA was established in 1983. And the reason that they do this is a lot of times these specific areas, these specific terroirs, working on my French again, always working on the French, they produce very different grapes than the ones that are going to be down the street and in a different AVA, because the microclimate varies greatly every 5-10 miles, whatever it is. And so here you have Los Carneros, like I said, just on the southern tip of Napa. Also, probably how far inland it is probably about the same. But the thing I want you to notice is you've got the Bay Area that's so much closer to where the grapes are being grown, and you have all these different water features that is going to change up things like the humidity and the winds, and that's going to have an effect. Even the temperature of the soil and everything, it's going to have an effect on the grapes. And so those are just the two things I want to point out tonight before we go into the tasting. All right, guys, tasting time. First, let's check in. So it's been a fun week. Lots of work, lots of schoolwork, knocking out a lot of homework. So didn't have as much time to do any more tastings, but that is why we are here right now. So thanks again for tuning in, for all the support. I've had a couple people ask me a couple of wine-related questions, ask for recommendations. I'm always more than happy to send you what I think is the best stuff to drink right now, depending on what you're looking for and what your budget is. So feel free to reach out. But without further ado, let's jump into the tasting. So tonight, not sure how this is going to work out, but we're going to give it a shot. I'll try anything twice. So I try to set up a little blind tasting. I put both of my bottles of Chardonnay in these bags, and they're identical bags, and I used a rubber band to tie the front. So let's see how this is going to work. I don't know if you can see that, but put a rubber band around each of the different Chardonnays. And what I'm going to do is, okay, so tried to do this as best I could. I moved these guys around. I'm telling you right now, I have no idea which one is which. And you know, I'm not a fan of cheaters. I don't like people who cheat on tests. It's kind of a pet peeve of mine. So let me tell you, when I'm honest, that I have not looked at which bottle is which. I have no idea. I've played the shell game a couple times here. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get pouring. So the first one, we're going to do some on the right here. Bloop. Pour that, just enough for the tasting. And then let's get the one on the left. All right. These, it's gonna be a little bit hard to do on video, but we're gonna roll with what we got. First thing I want to show y'all is you see that one, and then you see that one. Let's give the first one a swirl. Second one a swirl. So looking at this one, the one on the right, the first thing I notice about is the color. Color seems to be a little bit darker, and the other thing I'm going to notice is there might just be a little bit of sediment in there, and just a little bit of a cloudiness to it, just very slightly. Looking at the second one, I'd say the second one is a little bit lighter, on the lighter side, which is usually indicative of aging in probably stainless steel or something like that. So we're gonna see what we got. Let's give the first one a whiff. And remember, these are 2 Chardonnays, one from Carneros, one from Arroyo Seco in Monterey County. Definitely getting some of that oak right off the nose. This one's got a little bit more of a crispness to it. Maybe even a little bit of a lemon. Let's give the second one a smell. Let me give it a swirl. And also just some like general FAQ. I keep my Chardonnays in the fridge just because I don't have anything else to put them in, but that's a little bit cooler than you want to serve something like a Chardonnay. So what I did before tonight was I pulled the bottles out of the fridge and I left them on the counter so they could kind of warm up just a little bit. You probably want to serve them like right around 40 degrees, maybe even 45. It just kind of depends on personal preference, but keeping them in the fridge is a little bit too cool because it kind of blunts the flavor of the wines. So I definitely recommend getting a wine cooler or wine fridge if you can get it. If not, you can absolutely just put in a refrigerator, any of your whites in the fridge, you keep them there and then just pull them out early before you're going to pop them. And then if that doesn't work, then you can always get an ice bucket and just ice them down before you drink. That usually gets them to the right temperature. But let's give the second one a whiff. Wow. Okay, so this one is a little bit more creamier, a little bit more almost smells like cheese. I know that sounds weird, but it's kind of a good smell. Let's see. All right, let's get to tasting. Oh, another thing. Both of these, I don't know if you can tell, but they both run down the sides about the same speed with the same consistency. So they're both 14.5% alcohol by volume. Did a little bit of research beforehand, so I'm going to cheat on that one. But they're both the same alcohol by volume, so they're going to have about the same consistency. Ooh, that's good. A little bit oaky. A little bit of pineapple, maybe some honeysuckle, some watermelon, kind of some of those tropical fruits in there. Even a little bit of vanilla. And the oak's got a little bit of a stronger taste to it, so I'm going to guess that the oak has been toasted on the inside. Let's put that aside for a second. Going on to the second one. All right, this is the creamier one. very different consistency. So they've both been aged in oak, but one has been in stainless steel for a little bit of a time, and the other one's been in oak for a little bit longer. So this one is a little bit more complex. It's got very different notes to it. It kind of starts off creamy and then goes through this peak of like these different flavors. It's like there's some vanilla, there's some apricot, there's like some white peach. Take another swig because I need another look at this one. And like I said, it's got that cheese smell to it, and it almost tastes like a brie, which I know not everyone picks up the same flavors, but that's definitely something that I'm picking up right now. So if I had to guess, and I am definitely not a expert, but I'm going to take my best shot at this. I'm going to say that this is the this one on here on the right, my right, your left. Well, maybe you're right because I'm flipping the phone around. I'm going to say this one is the Arroyo Seco Chardonnay. And then I'm going to say this one on the left is the Carneros. So let's see what we got. Okay. All right. On the right, we have the Arroyo Seco Chardonnay. So I kind of had like some insider baseball on this because I had just like drinking this wine, and like our taste buds are like super sensitive. And if you start drinking wine, like if you pay attention, you'll remember, I think, at least in my opinion, you're going to remember the wines you drink. So definitely had an advantage there to pick up on that one. Luckily, this was only 2 wines, and I already had drinking one of them, so I had an idea of what it was going to be. But the second one was this was the Los Carneros Napa Chardonnay, but very similar wines because they're both Chardonnay. They both came from similar years, but there's just these small nuances that when you put them side by side, you can pick up on. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed the series. And if there's ever you have any questions or would like to see something in particular, would like a review of a certain wine, by all means, reach out, let me know. And I hope you have a great weekend and can't wait till the next one. Hey guys, so thanks again for tuning in, like I said, and just want to give you all a preview for next time. We'll be doing the Scott Family Estate Pinot Noir, and I just want to give a thank you, just a giant thank you to Scott Family Estate for sending me this wine, sending me these awesome gifts. I'll show you all next time what the tools that I got from them, the corkscrew and the wine stopper. But thanks to these guys for sending me these gifts and just being stand-up winery right now. Y'all should go check them out. Go follow them, Scott Family Estate, and go purchase wine from them. Everyone could use a little bit extra wine right now, and I hope you get some from Scott Family Estate. Let me know if you do, and I'd love to know what you think about it. So hope you all have a great night, and I'll talk to you all later.